You're listening to Create Wealth Through Franchising, and I'm your host, Kim Daly. In my 20 years as a franchise consultant, I've helped hundreds of people achieve their dreams of building and scaling franchise businesses to create wealth. The interview you're about to hear can also be found on my YouTube channel, where I post new franchising content multiple times per week. Please take a moment to subscribe to the podcast and to my YouTube channel at kimdaly.tv. Now, enjoy the show. Okay, welcome to the Daily Coach YouTube channel, guys. I'm so happy today to have a former candidate who is now a franchisee with us. Her name is Julie, and she's here to share her story. Julie, welcome to the Daily Coach YouTube channel.
Thanks, Kim. I'm excited to be here and share my story and share how you helped me get to the point we're at now with our franchise.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to have you here. So let's go ahead and have you open up and tell us a little bit about what you were doing when you found the Daily Coach and what led you to the idea of wanting to own your own franchise business.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was actually working, my background's actually in accounting. So had a background in public accounting, and then I actually was a VP of finance with a franchisor, believe it or not, called Soccer Shots. I was there for about 5 years. I was working out of Harrisburg. My husband was working in Philly, and we were both commuting over an hour. He wasn't my husband at the time, but we were commuting over.
You got married in the middle of your process.
Yes, we did. We did it all. Yeah. So we were just kind of looking longer term at what we could do. I always wanted to have my own business. But we were also just looking for something sustainable for us as we plan to have a family and things like that. So I got introduced to Kim then through actually a colleague who also purchased a franchise and found their business through Kim. And we just had some great conversations. And I probably took a little bit longer than Kim would have liked to make a decision because I was nervous. But really just looking back, I'm so grateful for all of your guidance and support and for connecting me with our budget blinds business that we have now. Actually, we just finished our first month of our second franchise as well.
It's such an amazing story. So let's back up a little bit. So you were in accounting and finance, and now you own what kind of franchise?
A budget blinds franchise. I'm doing sales. Yeah.
Because that's a normal progression, right? Said nobody ever.
Yeah. Don't tell my customers when they take fashion and interior design.
It's so great. And so it's not like you came to me thinking, hey, Kim, can I be in a home interior space, right? So what was it, if you can remember, what was it about the Budget Blinds franchise that attracted you to that model?
Yeah, no, great question. Honestly, I remember when you first brought it up as one of the options that you thought might be a good idea for me to look into. I was like, what? Budget blinds? No. Driving a minivan around? Heck no. But the more I learned about it and really just validated, looked into the numbers, obviously being an accountant, the financial pieces were important to me. I think for me, it was more important that what the business was going to lead to for us from a lifestyle and an investment standpoint versus what we were actually doing day to day. I think I could get passionate. I remember thinking, okay, I'll get passionate about whatever I'm doing as long as it's, putting our family and our future family in the position that we want to be in. And we feel like we're making a good investment. So I remember as I learned more and more about budget blinds and just the business model, talk to other franchisees, my eyes were open to how great of a model it was. And honestly, even now being an owner of a budget blinds franchise, I feel like I even appreciate that more. It's a fantastic business. There's so much support, and I feel like you really do get a great investment out of it as well.
So during our process of getting to know each other and what you were looking for in the business, this is the value of working with a consultant, right? And that you don't have to come to me with an idea. You just have to come with a vision of your life. Like you mentioned, you were setting yourself up for future. You were about to get married. You have the vision that you're going to have a family. You didn't want to be commuting all that way every day, right? You wanted more freedom and flexibility, more control. I remember specifically because you were an athlete, I remember specifically that we looked at a fitness something, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
thinking that this would be like the passion play. This was probably the business of the three or four that I brought to you that probably fit within the vision you had
Mhm,
in the
mhm.
beginning of owning a business, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then what happened though? Like why how did that one become not the right one and budget blinds became the right one because of the franchise process?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think some of the other concepts we looked at, I got super excited about at first, but I think where we were at in life, we were looking to not be the pioneer of a brand, and rather we're looking for something that was proven, something that we could just kind of go in. We didn't have to reinvent ourselves or define. And so, if it would have been 5 or 10 years previous, I probably would have went after some of those other brands and loved it. But for what we needed, personally, I think that's where, as we learned more about those, we really just wanted kind of the sure thing that budget blinds was.
Right.
So
And so Budget Blinds is backed by this massive corporate engine called Home Franchise Concepts, right?
mhm.
So when I'm talking to my candidates, I'm always reminding them that when you invest in a franchise, you're not investing in a widget, you are investing in people. Right.
Yeah,
Now that
yeah,
you've been a franchise owner for just over a year and all during the pandemic basically was
yeah,
your first
yeah,
year out, which we'll come back to. But in that first year of ownership, how much did you really realize this is all about your success is related to the people that are supporting you and training you and that you're connected to more than that you're selling blinds and window
yeah.
treatments?
Yeah, I mean, I just realized it, and still I realize it every day. If I have a question, I have 10 different people I could call or text to get help with. If there's a new product or anything, I can hop on the phone and I'm getting someone right away. And so I think the support that Home Franchise Concepts and the Budget Blinds team provides us is absolutely amazing. Beyond that, even the HFC team, they've also developed relationships with a ton of different vendors that can also provide us support and training. And so, really, like I said, I was an accountant and now I'm selling blinds. Like I remember going to training and Discover Day. I'm like, people were getting all passionate about the products. I'm like, I don't know a blind from a shade, people. But they provided the training that after you go to the 2 weeks of training, I had my first a consult with a customer, and I made a sale, a whole 4 forward blinds. But they really set me up for success, and they give you kind of just what you need along the way to be successful. And now it's really fun because we have a few people now that have joined our team, including some design consultants. And now the HFC team is even helping me train my team now as well, which is really, really cool to see, and the support they're giving them. So
How
really,
gratifying is that? That your dream is enabling you now to create jobs for people in your
yeah,
community.
yeah. It's and especially coming out of COVID, I know we're going to talk a little bit more about that, but one or two of them specifically are coming from industries that were really heavily impacted by COVID closures. And so, like you said, providing them that opportunity where they kind of were impacted negatively, to give them this awesome opportunity in an industry now that's doing fantastic because of COVID is really rewarding. And yeah, it really keeps me going every day. So
Hey, Daily Coach fans, if this franchise sounds like a fit for you, I would love to be your daily coach. Email me right now for a totally free consultation at inquire@kimdaly.tv.
yeah,
So you mentioned a minute ago that you just purchased your second territory, like at your
I
1 year
did.
anniversary mark, which is just congratulations. The day I
Thank you.
got that news from you, I was just like so over the moon.
Yeah.
Again, it's just validation and confirmation to me that when people come to me with an open mind and
Hmm.
allow me to guide them to really solid opportunities, the widget becomes so irrelevant in the end.
Hmm.
And no matter where you begin, if you have that vision to own your future, you can scale that business and just keep growing and growing and growing. I'm so, so proud of you, Julie, and
Yeah.
so happy for you. It's so
Thank
great.
you. Well, and I'm so appreciative that again you introduced me and all those nerves early on to get over that first hurdle. I mean, what I also realized is you get over that first hurdle of buying your business, and you're like, okay, I finally did it. I made the decision, and you feel this weight off your shoulders, and then like a couple months later, you're like, okay, now I have to hire my first employee, and so it's kind of never ending. But your encouragement and your support, and even just helping me frame how I thought about the decisions was so helpful and has continued to be throughout our growth process. So thank you.
So good. So good. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
So you had your first full year all during the pandemic. And you bought a second territory. So life must have been good for you last year. Share with the audience a little bit about how your franchisor adapted to the changes that had to happen and how that enabled you to not just survive, but really to thrive during
Yeah.
the pandemic.
Yeah, I mean, I would be lying if I was saying that there wasn't any scary months within there. So I started the first franchise in November of 2019. Was kind of just trying to figure out what I was doing. November, December, January, and then February is when kind of the talk about it started. And March, and April we actually had to close for 2 months due to the state regulations. We were then able, and I'm really grateful because I know there were so many other businesses that had to stay closed so much longer than us. But we were able to reopen at the end of May. And what was amazing is all of the support during that time provided by HFC, from helping you, weekly look at your cash flow to make sure you're, as a new business, we're pouring all this money in. We were just starting to kind of, we were planning on hiring, things like that. And so they really came alongside us to provide support from a planning standpoint to make sure, I mean, frankly, they were able to help us with some of, our franchise fees and deferments and things like that, just to make sure everyone could get through that time, knowing and hoping that it was just a temporary thing. And so, really my anxiety around COVID was short lived, because then as soon as we were able to open up, I mean, just ever since then, now our issues were just we can't keep up with the volume and everything. So different problem, but
Isn't that crazy? That's so
yeah,
good. And
yeah.
if you had to sort of justify that, do you think it's because there was a lot of staycations instead of vacations and people started remodeling or looking around and had time to do things around their home?
Yeah, I think so. I think just, that discretionary income in some cases went, elsewhere into their home. I'm seeing a lot of people having a different need within their home. So now they're setting up a second office, or, so they need different window coverings, or they're changing their look. Lots of remodeling happening. And also, both our initial territories right outside of a city. So a lot of people were moving outside of the city into new homes. So it just seemed like in general, there's a lot of real estate action, because of people having different needs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm waiting to see if it slows down, and so far it hasn't. And but yeah, we'll see. So,
Yeah, I mean, Budget Blinds is what, like a 30-year-old company?
mhm,
So
mhm,
they've weathered a few ups and downs in the
yeah,
economy and maybe
yeah,
never a pandemic. However,
yeah,
they've definitely gone up and down. And I think they've proven that in good times and bad, people
mhm,
are buying blinds. So I think you're
yeah.
going to be good.
Yeah, and again, I think it helped that we do in-home consults, so it's just a lot of people were actually feeling more comfortable with us being able to come in really in a controlled environment where we're wearing masks and keep the process really safe. So I think that benefited us as well versus having a big box store or big retail storefront.
Hey, Daily Coach fans, if you're inspired by this conversation, I invite you to email me right now to explore this franchise opportunity. My email is inquire@kimdaly.tv. So, what are you looking forward to the most in the next 1 or 2 years in this journey of being a business owner?
Yeah. That's a great question. I think for us right now, again, we just finished month one of our second territory. So I'd be lying if I said we weren't having some growing pains. We have a lot of new team members that we're training. And so I think what I'm looking forward most to is just getting our team up and running into like a confident, where they're enjoying it on a day-to-day basis, where it's a great financial opportunity for them on a day-to-day basis. And also, for my husband and I, what that means for us is, we're actually starting now to transition the business into more of like a semi-absentee, kind of position as much as we possibly can. And so we're really investing in our team right now because we want to build a business around them to enable us to do that.
That is amazing. How many entrepreneurs 1 year in, right, can think about trying to become the CEO rather than the person in it doing it every day? That's
Mm-hmm.
really the leverage of an incredible franchisor with support and infrastructure and technology and all of that and training,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then an amazing owner like you who has the vision because you have to have the vision and the confidence in yourself that you can pull this off. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I love the way that you said, I mean, there are growing pains. Like even in this
Yeah.
30-year-old company with this very proven path and track record of success, it's your first year owning a business, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So of course, there's going to be growing pains. And you know what? I've been a business owner for almost 25 years. And this is why I say I'm a personal development junkie because I think it's like being an athlete. All like you're always trying to improve your game. You're
Mm-hmm.
always trying to be a little bit sharper. Or how can I be stronger or be a little more nimble? And it never, you don't get tired because the growth, it's personal growth,
Yep.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
it benefits you and your
Yeah.
future.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, and that's the thing. I think you just have to come to the realization like, I'm going to have to continually just improving. And with a new business, with new team members, it's like every little thing. It's like, hey, mistakes are going to happen, growing pains are going to happen, just continuing to figure out, okay, what can we do better next time? And I think that's just the mentality that I'm trying to take on and asking my team to do the same with. So,
Yeah, that's so great. Have you ever looked back and missed your Sorry to our friends in corporate America at soccer shots. Have you ever looked back and thought I made the wrong choice?
no, never that we made the wrong choice. I mean, I don't know if you remember, but we were getting married at the time that we bought our first franchise, and we were so nervous. And my husband still works full time in his corporate job, so he's kind of part of the business's moral support, but I really run the day to day. I think it's hilarious because we were really hesitant on the first one, and he was really hesitant just because he didn't have the experience with franchising that I had. But then when it came around to buying the second one, if anything, he's like, why would we not? Why would we not buy the second territory? It's a great business. It almost didn't make sense not to from a financial standpoint. And so I just think ever since we've started, while sure there's been times where like this is exhausting or you have those days in anything you do, overall, we've just been so grateful that we made the decision we did and just continue to feel really grateful and blessed that we've had these opportunities because yeah, I know not everyone. I remember thinking back, not everyone would be willing to kind of just get that hurdle. And even if we would have failed, at least we would have known we tried. And I think I really needed to know that at least I tried, right? But now it's just a matter of, growing and finding success in every way we can. And that's also the budget blinds model. They make it possible to make it whatever you want with the business. So some people, it's a one-man band. We're trying to build a big team and scale, and so whatever you want to do with it, you're able to find success and they're going to support you to find that.
Julie, I appreciate your validation of the franchise process, the daily coach process. I appreciate you
Absolutely.
sharing your story that I know will inspire people who are listening to this because I just think the jump from finance world to budget blind, people are like,
Yeah.
what? Like, I'm going
Yeah.
to call the daily coach to find out what kind of leap she's going to bring me to, right? That's the
Yeah.
fun part of my business, right? Is like bringing back these companies where I'm like, okay, you can't remember when I was like, you're going on a blind date, right? You can't say no. You just got to go,
Yeah.
right? Because if
Yeah.
I gave you the option to say, I don't think I want to go on a blind date with budget blinds, you probably would have said that, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So no, I am so grateful, Kim. You've truly changed our lives, and we're actually we're in process of moving to the beach where our second territory is full time, and I don't think that would have ever happened. So we're loving life, and you really helped us get to the point that we were hoping to get to, and continue to work towards. So thank you.
You are the dream. You are the reason I get up every day and have a channel to reach more people, because I want more stories just like that. Thank you so much, Julie. You are the best. God bless you. God bless you with all of your dreams. So for anybody who's listening to this, if this has inspired you to your own dream, you don't have to have an idea. You don't have to know what the business is. That's what I do. That's what the Daily Coach is here for. My services are always free. Leave a comment below, or definitely reach out to me, Kim at thedailycoach.com. I would love to help you make the leap from corporate America to owning your own future, building the business and the life of your dreams. Thank you so much. If you found this inspiring, please contact me at inquire@kimdaly.tv. My consulting services are totally free to you. Again, that email is inquire@kimdaly.tv. I can't wait to hear from you.